Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Sam Houston Race Park here on Sunday. It's the 26th of January 2020. I'm going to look at all the stakes races on the program from Sam Houston, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Excellent card today from Sam Houston. I love when these smaller tracks, put on these good cards with all these stakes races, and it's just it's a good change of scenery than constantly looking at races from Naira, from Gulfstream, from Santa Anita. It's just, I like looking at these races. So we're gonna look at all the stakes races here, races 5 through 10, and it's an all stakes pick 6. So I'm gonna have a ticket for it, and also I'm gonna have a ticket for my Gulfstream Rainbow Six mandatory payout here on YouTube. So go check that out. But I think a lot of people are going to be concentrating on the pick 6 from Gulfstream more than this one, but I think this one's hittable. But let's get to the stakes action races. We're starting off race number 5 from Sam Houston, which is the Frontier Utilities Turf Sprint. It's going for a purse of $100,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of a dozen horses going the distance of ground of 1,000 meters or heading to the lawn the distance of ground of 5 furlongs on the turf course. 1,000 meters, 5 furlongs turf course, and they have a very underrated turf course here at Sam Houston. And I show the diagram, keep in mind, it just gives me a second to look down my notes, but there is a chance of rain late Saturday night into Sunday morning, so the ground might have some moisture in it, so hopefully they'll be able to run this race, but just want to keep that in the back of your mind. But the top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 10 horse, Real News. We'll go 10-4-3-9 in the superfecta. 10-4-3-9 super, top selection of 10 horse, Real News. 4-year-old colt by the factor. Al Stahl trains this one. Colby Hernandez gets the mount coming in from the fairgrounds to ride the horse. The horse's most recent outing came the 12th of December at the fairgrounds, about 5.5 on the Stahl Wilson turf course, an optional 40 claimer, and the horse won by 1.25 lengths there. Basically that afternoon, he stalked, he got the lead, and then he held on to a good victory. He probably wasn't even 100% fresh there since it was being his first start since June. I think you're second off the break, stalking in this kind of race, I think he'll get a very good trip. Start prior to that, they ran the horse on the dirt at Churchill, 6 furlongs, an optional 100 claimer. He finished 5th by 1.75 lengths there. He didn't break all that well, and he just wasn't excelling. He does his better running, I think, on turf. Start prior to that, they had him routing on turf at Penn National, 1 mile and the grade 2 Penn Mile, and the horse finished 3rd by 2 lengths, set the pace most of the race, then he kind of hit the wall. I think the mile trip was just a little bit too long, and then the James W. Murphy at Pimlico mile on the lawn. The horse finished 2nd by a half length. Englishby got to this horse late after setting the pace, but this horse, he stayed the trip well, but I do like him back at a sprinting trip. He loves the sprinting trip. 7-2, training well. I'm going to use him in the Space City 6 along with the 4-horse fast boat. Adam Biskitz is on this one for Joe Sharp. This horse's most recent outing came back in October at Keeneland going 5.5, and the horse won by a half length. He had a little bit of a trouble trip, but when he got out, he had a great turn of foot, earning a 91 buyer. His last 2 races have been very good. Before that, at Kentucky Down 6.5 in a Star Lounge race 50,000, won by 2 lengths, and he broke through the gate that day. But he did something very rare for that Kentucky Downs meet this season, where speed was holding up. This horse really closed from nowhere and got a good turn of foot to win on that very difficult turf course. Another horse he'll be flying late, 4-1. He'll get a good trip, I think, from the inside. I'm going to use him here on the Space City 6. So to recap my selection for the 5th from Sam Houston, it's the Frontier Utilities Turf Sprint. Let's take the 10-horse Real News as top selection. We'll go 10-4-3-9 in the superfecta. Let's get to race number 6 from Sam Houston. The 6th from Sam Houston is the Stonerside Sprint. It's going for a purse of $75,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 7 horses going to the main track, the distance of ground of 1,200 meters, or the distance of ground of 6 furlongs on the main track. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs, main track here. The top selection in this race, we're going to go with the number 5 horse, who is Trump Pence. I'm going to go 5-1. 2-3 in the superfecta. 5-1-2-3 super. Top selection 5 horse Trump Hence, the 6-year-old gelding by Escandrea. Kenneth Nolan trains Swen. Deshaun Parker, who's having a pretty good Sam Houston meet, gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 14th of December at Remington. 6 furlongs in a allowance race, 40,000, and the horse won by 3 lengths. And he sat back early. He had a great turn of foot, and he went away with it, earning himself a career best 95 buyer. And it was hands down his best race. Start prior to that, he ran at Remington 6.5 furlongs, 22nd in November, and Optional 20, and the horse finished second by 3/4 length. First started off a little bit of a refreshing. He needed the race. He just really couldn't get there late. It looked like he was going to pounce, but then he just kind of hit the wall late. Like I said, he probably needed the race. And then prior to that, he ran the 8th of August at Canterbury, 6 furlongs allowance race, 32,000. He won by 6 on the front and all throughout. It was definitely his second best race of the lifetime, best to that point, and he just basically won away with it. 109.3. That was a good 6 furlongs. He's been training well. He could set the pace where he come from a little bit behind like he did last time at Remington. 3-1. Let's give him a shot. To the pick 6 here, I think the 1-horse Malpius, he's come off a little bit of a long break, but on paper he could definitely win this race. And I think the 2-horse Pete's Play Call for Tyler Gaffalione and Mike Maker. This horse coming out of some very tough races on the Kentucky Fairground circuit. Another horse, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets a good trip, so we'll definitely use him there. But to recap my selection for the 6 from Sam Houston's, the Stonerside Sprint, let's take the 5-horse Trump Pence. We'll go 5-1-2-3 in the superfecta. We'll go 5-1-2 in the multi-race pick 6. Let's get to race number 7. It's the inaugural Texas Turf Mile. It's going for a purse of $200,000. Race for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 12 horses going the distance of ground of 1,600 meters with a distance of ground of 1 mile on the turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile here in the inaugural Texas Turf Mile. The top selection, we're going to go with the number 4 horse, Billy Bats. We'll go 4-3-1-7 in the superfecta. 4-3-1-7 super. Top selection here is the 4 horse Billy Bats, 3-year-old Ridgeling by City Zip, who actually, I believe he only ran on the turf once. That came in the 2001 Breeders' Cup Mile at Belmont, where I believe he finished last after setting a wickedly strong pace, but I thought that was the wrong decision. I think he finished last, and there was another horse from that year who was a big kind of Derby horse that never really ran, and ran a good race in the Derby, Balto Star Gelding. He ran the turf for his first and only start there, and he ran horrible, but that's for another day. But Peter Miller's trains one. Flavian Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent out came the 1st of November at Santa Anita, 1 mile in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, and the horse finished second by 3/4 length behind Structor. This horse stalked all the way around the race course. It looked like he was going to get a piece of it late, but then Structor got to this horse. But there was nothing bad about this horse's place. He's coming here second off the break. Lesser quality horses. I think it's a good comeback race. Also, he's drawn well for this turf course. Start prior to that in the Zuma Beach at Santa Anita, 1 mile, October the 6th. The horse finished 3rd by 2 1/4 lengths there, and he was just never comfortable that day. It looked like he wanted to go. Tiago Pereira didn't want to let him go, and he just never really showed a lot late. And then prior to that, he ran the Del Mar Juvenile Turf at Del Mar, 1 mile, September the 1st. He only had 4 other rivals, a small field of 5. He finished second by a head. He set the pace early on. He got caught late, but he fought back a little bit that day. It wasn't the world's worst run for him. And then before that, Del Mar main special weight 65,000. He won by 1 3/4 lengths, and he took off clear. That was a very good run. I like him a lot here. Training well at San Luis Rey, 7-2. We'll use him on the multi race here. In the pick 6, we'll definitely use the 3 horse Memorable. He's had some good memorable races recently, so I think his form's going up. So we'll use him there, and we'll also use the 1 horse Pixelate for Godolphin. Another horse, first time Lasix, drawn well. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets the piece of it. But to recap my selection for the 7 from Sam Houston, it's the Texas Turf Mile. Let's take the 4 horse Billy Bats. We'll go 4-3-1-7 in the superfecta. We'll go 4-3-1 in the pick 6. Let's get to the 8th. Race number 8, it's the Houston Ladies Classic Grade 3 event going for a purse of $300,000. Race for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 6 horses going to the main track, the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or the mile and 1/16th trip on the Sam Houston dirt course. 1,700 meters, a mile 1/16th. The top selection here in the Ladies Classic, a race that the last few years, so this race has been becoming a good race. Wouldn't surprise me if it becomes a Grade 2 in the near future. But the top selection, I'm going to take the number 5 horse, who is My Lady's Curlin. We'll go 5-1-4-6 in the superfecta. 5-1-4-6 super. Top selection of 5 horse. My Lady's Curlin. 5-year-old mare by Curlin. Brad Cox trains this one. Tyler Gaffalione gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 28th of November at Churchill, mile and 1/8, and the Fall City Handicap. And the horse won by 2 1/4 lengths there. Sat back early, got a good turn of foot, and went quite nicely at 5-2. That was a very good run. Start prior to that, the horse ran the Grade 3 Chaluki at Churchill, 1 mile, November the 2nd. The horse finished second by 3/4 length. Stalked early on, after not the best beginning. I actually had to lead in the straightaway, but then got caught by Sally's Curlin. But this horse, she ran her heart out there. And then before then, Churchill, mile 16th, and Lotus Grove. The horse finished third by 1 1/4 lengths there. And she was moving a little bit late, but, she should have ran a little bit better there. And then before that, she ran to Lady Jacqueline at Thistle, mile 8th. She won by a nose. She was the heavy favorite, but she got the job done. She's coming here, lesser quality horses. She is going to be a nice pace in this one. I think she could close up 7-2. We'll use her, along with the one-horse Serengeti Empress, your 2019 Kentucky Oaks winner. She hasn't won since the Oaks, but she's run these good races, and then she's run these crap races. She's a horse she needs to lead. That's where she does her best running. And I don't think from the rail, I think she's going to be leaving and just basically, going on her own pace. 7-5, she could definitely win on paper. We'll use her on the pick 6. But to recount my selection for the 8th from Sam Houston, it's the Ladies Classic. The Houston Ladies Classic. Gonna take as a top selection the 5-horse My Ladies Curlin. Will go 5-1-4-6 in the superfecta, 5-1 in the pick 6. Let's get to the co-featured 9th race from Sam Houston. The 9th race from Sam Houston, my favorite race on the card, it is the John B. Connolly Turf Cup. It's a grade 3 event going for a purse of $200,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 12 horses going the distance of ground of 2,400 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/2 on the Connolly lawn, the turf course. 2,400 meters, 1.5 miles turf course. And this race years ago used to be run at the distance of ground of 1.1 miles, and it was a good race, but since they moved it to 1.5 miles, I thought it's become a little bit of a better race, and it shows, there's a lack of races in this division for 1.5 miles, and, I just like it, and I hope they add more of them. But the last 3 winners of this race it was the same horse, the Mike Baker horse, who I think it was Bigger Pitcher, who won the last 3 races years for this race. This year, he's not running it, so we're going to have a different horse that's going to win. But with that being said, I think Mike Baker is still going to win this race. That's with the 7-horse Marzo. Will go 7-10-6-9 in the superfecta, 7-10-6-9 super. Will go 7-10 in the multi race, but the top selection is 7-horse Marzo. The 5-year-old gelding by Medaglia d'Oro. Mike Baker trains this one. Corey Lannery gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 14th of December at Gulfstream Park, 1 mile and 1/8 in the grade 2 Fort Lauderdale, and the horse finished 7th by 2 3/4 lengths there. He had a horrible trip, which cost him. He got bumped around. He just really couldn't get a good turn of foot, and he was in a lot of traffic. It was drawn wide. It just wasn't a recipe for success there. Throw that race out. Coming here to a marathon trip, which he likes to run, I think he'll get a better run. Start prior to that, he ran here in New York at Aqueduct, mile 3/8 on the inner in the grade 3 Red Smith, and he finished 8th by 10 lengths. He was a little bit wide, and he just couldn't keep up there. Sadler's Joy, the old man, finally found his old form to win there. And then before then, the Sycamore Keelan, 1.5 miles. Lesser quality horse there. He was drawn wide, but he stalked, he got the lead, and then he took off clear from a little bit of a wide posture today. If he runs that race here, I think he'll get the victory. And then prior to that, he ran at Churchill, 1 mile and optional 80. He finished 2nd by a head, and he was closing up well. He just missed, but nothing bad about that run. He's only started the 1.5 mile race once, and that was a very good run. So they're doing it again, 9-2. Let's take a shot with him. I also think the 10-horse Tracksmith for Joe Sharp and Calumet has a strong chance to win. A winner of his last race in the Woodchopper at the Fairgrounds, winning nicely, beating the Belmont Stakes 2019 winner there, and then before that he finished 2nd in the Commonwealth Turf at Churchill, and then 2nd in the Jefferson Cup at Churchill in September. His only bad race out of recently was race I backed him in recently was in the Virginia Derby, where he finished 4th, never really getting to English speed there. But another horse, since they took him to turf, he's run these good races. The 1.5 miles should be no problem. 10-1, we'll definitely use him on the ticket. But to recount my selections now for the 9th from Sam Houston, it's the grade 3 John B. Connolly Turf Cup. We'll take as a top selection the 7-horse Marzo. We'll go 7-10-6-9 in the superfecta. We'll go 7-10 in the pick 6. Let's get to the nightcap, race number 10 from Sam Houston. The nightcap from Sam Houston, race number 10, it's Jersey Lilly Turf. It's going for a purse of $75,000, race for fillies, mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of a dozen horses going to the Connolly lawn, the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf course. 1,700 meters, 1 mile 1/16 turf course. The top selection here in the Jersey Lilly, we're going to go with the number 6 horse, Dream Passage. We'll go 6-2-11-7 in the superfecta, 6-2-11-7 super. Top selection 6 horse, Dream Passage. 6-year-old mare by Stormy Atlantic. Brad Cox trains. Florent Giroux gets on this New York bred, a horse I've seen many times on the New York circuit. Most recently here on the 21st of November at Aqueduct, mile 16th on the inner and optional 100, and the horse won by 3.5 lengths and basically sat on the front end all throughout and could have went around another 5 times and won that easily. That was a very easy run. Start prior to that, he ran at Belmont on the 20th of October, mile and the 8th, inner turf course, top 62, and the horse won by 2. She stalked, she got the lead, then she took off clear. That's how you win on the inner turf course, being towards the front end and having a great turn of foot like this horse did. And then prior to that, the horse ran at Belmont on mile 16th in the Star Lounge race, 40,000. The horse won by 6.25 lengths, stepping down in class, 65 cents a dollar. Stalk got the lead, easy money there. She's a winner of her last 3. Before that, she was 75 cents a dollar at Saratoga and a mile on the inner Star Lounge race, stepping down in class there. She finished 5th by 2 3/4 lengths there, and she nearly went down. How she recovered was amazing, but you could throw that race out there. And then before that, she ran off 6-2 Saratoga mile in the inner. She finished 2nd by 3/4 lengths. She caught late, but she still ran her heart out. You know, she's been training well. She has the speed to win on this turf course. At 3-1, we'll use her. On the multi-race, we have to definitely use the 2 horse winning envelope. This horse, if there's going to be a horse that's going to close from behind, I think it's her. She's drawn well. She could get a piece fit. And I also think the 11 horse Curlin's Journey is another horse that can get a piece fit. So definitely use her on the pick 6. Out of all the races today, I think this is one of your most wide open events. But to recap my selection for the 10th from Sam Houston, it's the Jersey Lilly Turf. Top selection here, we'll take the 6 horse Dream Passage. We'll go 6-2-11-7 in the superfecta. We'll go 6-2-11 in the pick 6 to end it off. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.